Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Office Bloke Aidan.
Alright, before we start, we've got a competition we're running.
We do.
If you go to our video, MLB Longest Home Runs, type in the word Wrexham in the comments, subscribe to the channel, you could be the winner in the draw next Friday for a 23-24 Wrexham shirt.
Yep.
So there you go.
Very nice.
So it's fresh off the line. So all you got to do is getting it to win it, and shirt could be yours. Here we are. Who are the saltiest college football fans ranked?
Wouldn't have a clue, to be honest.
Who do you reckon?
No idea.
Saltiest. No, I don't.
It's obviously someone that always gets there, like probably close enough, like every year, and never wins it.
LSU.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Who are the saltiest college football fans ranked?
Being a college football fan is hard work. From setting up elaborate tailgates to getting very drunk on Saturday, then demanding that your team's defense get more physical while you stuff pizza into your face, it all adds up to a ton of effort for the team you love. But being a salty college football fan is exhausting. All the arguing, the posting on message boards, the adding on Twitter, the literal crying, it's very tiring. Today you're going to find out just who these salty NCAA fan bases are and who is the saltiest. And you know that's coming up right after this. Before we get into it, I need to explain the salt tiers and what being salty actually means. A salty fan is someone who is generally dissatisfied, angry, and bothered either for good reason or not. Every one of the fan bases I have for you today is definitely salty, but there are different tiers of that shit. They are bath salt, salty tears level of salt, sodium pentothal, which is a numbing agent, sea salt, diabetic salt, or a salt mining operation. The saltiest category of them all.
I'm going to use that.
Let's get into it.
Salt mining.
You're running a salt mining operation.
I have to ask this question. Why the fuck are you in the Big Ten? You're goddamn terrible. And yes, for the New York market, but most people in the city are more concerned with which flavored latte they are going to order to give a crap about Rutgers. You hark back to the days when Greg Schiano was your coach, but he was sick.
I've been to a Rutgers game.
Have you?
Yeah.
When was that?
Don't know what year it was.
So why did you go? Just got invited?
One of my friends was like one of the coaches or on the coaching sort of staff there. Yeah. And then he said, come down and watch. And I went down. It was in New Jersey.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought Rutgers was in New Jersey.
Yeah. But that's the only one. I don't really remember it much. So I probably wasn't bothered. You know what I mean? Just thought I was doing him a favour sort of thing.
68 and 67. Now you're back to sucking down your own salty tears and being featured as lowlights. Oh, what are we crying about today, UCF fan? An undefeated season where you played nothing but tomato cans and claimed a false national championship? Funny how Scott Frost left and he's getting creamed in the Big 12 where they play real schools. Like LSU did to you when you had another ship on the line. You might lobby the ACC to swap you with Wake Forest someday, but for God's sakes, get off the bath salts. They're bad for your health.
Love it.
Well, I'm glad your team stopped scheduling those opening week beatdowns against top 5 opponents. Now you get beat up by the likes of Boston College instead. It's great that Bud Foster is finally retiring since he gets all the credit for dialing up defenses that get torched like a medieval village. Better pray that Michael or Marcus Vick have a few sons they can loan you. Diabetic salt.
To be fair though, with Virginia Tech, they do have a great entrance, don't they?
We have seen that before,
yeah.
Ah yes, always a bridesmaid, never marrying your brother. You've had one coach go on and do elite things elsewhere, and his name wasn't Petrino or Nutt. Quick fact, you've never won an SEC championship, and being in the West has turned you into a healing lamp. Salt like that only comes from the depths of the ocean. Did someone say tradition? It all started when Bear Bryant noticed that Central Texas was a shithole and decided to leave for the paradise that is Tuscaloosa. I do like how you screwed over the Big 12 to join the SEC, but even beating Alabama that one time can't wash away the residue Kevin Sumlin left. And now you have a great character guy in Jimbo leading your squad. Texas sucks, but they lead the all-time series 76-37-5. The tradition of being irrelevant continues. Imagine preparing every year for the one contest that could bring you back to legitimacy and out of the bottom of the Big 12, and losing it for the last 5 years. That kind of torture is nothing compared to the fact that the last head coach that had a winning record was Earl Bruce after the Vietnam War. Last year's 1-point loss to Iowa gave you enough salty tears to fill a fish tank. Do you know what's more painful than sticking with a coach's kid as your QB? It's the amount of salt that Clemson has unloaded by the dump truck on your entire stadium. You used to beat up on them, but like your kid brother who hit a growth spurt, they not only smoke you, but they have gone on to bigger fish to fry while you erect Spurrier statues. Deep levels of sea salt for the cocks. Haven't won a Rose Bowl since '94 when you pulled a UCF and tried to claim a natty you didn't win. Even after the fallout from Paterno, you got upset when that clown Bill O'Brien left. You know what flavors your tongue? A 4-loss season last year. Those L's coming to Ohio State, Michigan State, and Michigan. Oh, and Kentucky. All that sodium should have you visiting your doctor.
Nope.
I'm just gonna call you the in-bumper camera. Your fans are constantly looking behind you, hoping they'll see Tim Tebow or Danny Werfel back there. Even in your natties, you caught L's in those seasons. That's worse than 2 players blocking each other. I mean, what happened to you? You can't even beat Georgia. Southern. Herb saw that the swamp had turned into a tire fire, and now the Gators are saltwater crocs. Don't you think it's time you started cheating again? Even crazy-ass Michael Irvin having a public schizophrenic outburst couldn't even motivate you to beat Florida in a game uglier than Danny DeVito. Then you followed that with a loss to UNC. The coconuts are going to be salty for a long, long time. Since Bowden and Jimbo left, you've been jacking off to the memories of Jameis Winston of all people. You turned so many blind eyes to his antics that it translated onto the field, blowing games in unbelievable ways. Letting UVA storm the field was just sad all around.
Salt mining. It's class, that.
It must be exhausting defending Baker Mayfield for planting that flag, eh? Probably as tiresome as it was watching your team make the playoff and then prove you and the entire Big 12 belong in the second tier. I still don't get why you would be so salty, but remember, Baker didn't choose you first. Losing to Vince Young still has you salty. Then, when people pile on about Leinart, Sanchez, and Barkley, you have to pull Carson Palmer out of your ass like that's gonna end the argument. And selling your soul and your championships for Reggie Bush doesn't lessen the outpouring of salty tears any less. Well, at least you produce NFL QBs. Hey, how's hiring ex-NFL guys to replicate their results in the NFL at UCLA working out for you? That second fiddle to USC plays a sad, sad tune. It's like you've become numb to being the Pac-12's forgotten glory. More sodium pentothal, please.
How many fans is this video going to trigger?
I know, yeah, probably quite a few. Because they're all quite big teams as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they all are, yeah, great. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to rank you this high on the salt chart, considering you're an irrelevant program, but any school that hires Bobby Petrino twice gets all the salt they deserve. Also, such a good judge of character when it comes to head coaches, eh? Maybe you can make a profit from all that salt you are mining. Yep, always bitching about getting no respect when you don't even play in a conference. You've made the CFP twice, getting blown out by a total of 55 points. Hey, maybe if your guys played some meaningful regular season games against rivals, they wouldn't disappear when it matters most. Good news though, Brian Kelly has mellowed out. I guess killing a student will do that to you. I had a whole bunch of stuff to say, but this kid pretty much sums it up for you.
Who do you think is going to be number one?
Like I said,
Is he running through order here? Yeah, he's ranked, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's ranking them. I'm thinking it's either going to be LSU
Right.
or Alabama.
But why would it be Alabama though? They win it a lot. And
Well,
they've won it
depends how
something more than anyone.
But probably, I remember when United used to win everything over here, and now they've got the saltiest fans because they think they deserve it every year.
Yeah.
So they've got the salty fans now over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it could be that.
That's a good point, yeah.
Ugh,
8.
number 8.
How could I list a team that has taken a dump in everyone's mouth for the last decade as having salty fans? Well, have you ever met an Alabama fan?
This year's matchup between Clemson and Alabama could break some records.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Oh, like the one who got so pissed he poisoned his rival's trees? Or that fan that was amazingly quiet just like Nick Saban during that prostate exam last year? You have nothing to be salty for, yet you sit in a White Castle. Bath salt for you. Can't mention Bama without their salty neighbor, Auburn. Little brother syndrome has infected this fan base so bad.
So I'll go Nebraska #1, just as a guess.
We've not had Nebraska, we have Arkansas, yeah.
It's gotten more corroded than Gus Malzahn's play calling. Luckily, Cam stole a laptop, or we'd have nothing to remember other than letting Crab Legs and Jimbo come back on us. And being in the SEC West, Alabama isn't always the main problem. That kind of worry is bad for any fan's health. Oh look, my phone auto-corrected duck to choke. Sure, you have those triggering uniforms, but you're still waiting to win the big one like the Titans are waiting on their QB to develop. That loss in 2015 was the signal for your coach to run to the NFL, so grab your numbing agent. Irrelevance is here again. Be grateful you aren't the Beavers, though.
They've got the best uniforms on.
Yeah. Florida State do that.
Yeah.
You're probably salty about not being listed as saltier. I find it hilarious that Urban Meyer got a note from his doctor so he could become an analyst and in true OSU fashion is salty over a head coach's accurate comments. Really? Calling out a coach of a 39-point dog? Oh, and bring up anything like that 31-0 whipping by Clemson in 2016.
Terrible play calling, offense can't do nothing. Defense hung in there, fought as much as they could.
Beat a lot of teams to get here and just couldn't close it out when we needed to. So
we haven't been shut out all year, and now in the championship game we're shut out. What's going on?
Or Zach Smith's dick pics. An OSU fan turns from salty into activated tannerite.
Oh.
I think after everything this team has put you through as a fan, from 15 consecutive seasons with 4 or more losses, to the Scott Frost era starting out terribly, to hiring Bill Callahan, I think the thing that makes you the saltiest is the fact that season ticket prices have increased while the product on the field hasn't. Of course, they sell them all every year. There's nothing to do in Nebraska anyways. The Volunteers, what happened to you? You're like the girl who was once pretty whose boyfriend got her hooked on meth. Weeks 1 and 2 this year produced more salt than the world's oceans. And I hate to say this, but you would have been better off sticking with Schiano than Jones and Pruitt. It's been
Can't let that go, can we, Aid?
What is he wearing there?
Hey?
That's an outfit and a half, that, isn't it? Jesus.
Something to pull that off, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Hey?
I hate to say this, but you would have been better off sticking with Schiano than Jones and Pruitt. It's been 20 years since a conference championship. It's sad, but thanks for all the lawn fertilizer. If Auburn has a little brother complex to Alabama, Georgia has child abuse charges pending on them. It seems that every time the Dogs needed a big win, they have squared off against the Tide, and the result is the same every time. A spilling of sodium chloride so generous you have to send your food back to the kitchen. Thanks to you, Georgia, the roads are clear of ice. And now for our number one
It's got to be LSU, isn't it?
NCAA college fan base.
Oh, Michigan, yeah.
Process of elimination would lead you here, where America's largest stadium is occupied by the NCAA's largest salt mine. 1997 seems so long ago, it's almost like it didn't happen. One championship in 71 years.
Think about the last time the Michigan Wolverines have been in the national championship picture. What are we going back to, Max? The 70s, I think?
A lot of mixed expectations, and it doesn't help that OSU is 16-2 against you in the last 18 matchups. You're the Sisyphus of college football, pushing the rock up the hill while Jim Harbaugh shoots his mouth off, only to slip right at the top and have it roll down the hill again. Sure, you can say State is salty too, but unlike you, they have beaten OSU since 2012. Twice. But please do not forget to check out my bookie and enter in my code POINTS100.
Yeah.
I like the way you explained that.
I apologise to LSU, weren't even on the list.
Weren't even on, not even top 30. Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's good explanation on that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Good videos
it's
and
funny.
5-point vids. Yeah, I like them. But that's it's a Michigan #1.
I didn't
Salty.
realise they only won one championship in like 71 years. I would have thought it'd be more.
Don't know how old this video is.
I don't think
They've not won it in the last couple of years anyway, have they?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 71 years, eh?
Long time. I didn't realise it was like that.
I'm not surprised you're salty.
Yeah.
Right? Triggering them right. We're not salty. Go on, say it in the comments. Love it. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to get in on the Wrexham shirt as well.
Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe as well. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.